Can science unlock spiritual secrets? The answer will shock you. Scientists discovered that meditation literally rewires your brain in just 8 weeks, proving ancient spiritual practices create measurable physical changes that modern medicine is only beginning to understand. Your brain has something called neuroplasticity, which means it can completely restructure itself based on what you do repeatedly. When researchers scanned the brains of people who meditated for just 27 minutes daily, they found increased gray matter in areas responsible for learning, memory, and emotional regulation. The amygdala, your brain's fear center, actually shrunk. But here's where it gets wild. Prayer and chanting produce gamma waves, the same brain waves associated with moments of insight and heightened consciousness. Tibetan monks who've meditated for over 10,000 hours show gamma wave activity 700 times higher than normal people. Their brains are literally operating on a different frequency. Even crazier, studies on near-death experiences revealed that when the heart stops, brain activity doesn't just fade away. It spikes dramatically for about 30 seconds, creating the most organized electrical activity ever recorded in a dying brain. Scientists can't explain why consciousness seems to intensify right before death. Quantum physics is now suggesting consciousness might not be produced by the brain, but rather received by it, like a radio picking up signals. This could explain why people report feeling connected to something larger during spiritual experiences. The placebo effect proves that belief alone can heal diseases, lower blood pressure, and even regrow hair. Your thoughts are literally changing your biology in ways that should be impossible according to traditional medicine. Science isn't disproving spirituality anymore. It's revealing that the boundary between mind and matter might be an illusion we created ourselves. Okay? Let's dive deeper into this mind-bending reality because the initial revelations are just the tip of the iceberg. That 8-week time frame for brain rewiring, it's not an anomaly, it's a testament to the incredible efficiency of our neural architecture when given the right input. Neuroplasticity isn't just a passive characteristic, it's an active, ongoing process. Think of it like this. Every time you learn a new skill form, a new memory, or even consciously shift a habit, you're laying down new neural pathways, strengthening some connections, synaptogenesis, and pruning away others that are no longer needed, synaptic pruning. Meditation, by its very nature, is a focused training of attention and awareness. Those 27 minutes a day, they are a concentrated workout for specific brain regions. We mentioned the hippocampus, crucial for learning and memory, and the amygdala, our fear hub. But the changes extend further. Studies like those led by neuroscientist Sarah Lazar at Harvard have also shown increased cortical thickness in the prefrontal cortex, the brain's CEO, responsible for higher-order functions like decision-making, attention regulation, and self-awareness. There's also evidence of changes in the insula, an area linked to interoception, awareness of internal bodily states, and empathy. The fact that the amygdala, that primal alarm system, can physically shrink in response to mindfulness practice is monumental. It means we have a scientifically validated method to dial down our reactivity to stress, to cultivate a more measured, less anxious response to life's challenges. It's about gaining emotional resilience not through wishful thinking, but through tangible changes in brain structure. Now, about those gamma waves and the Tibetan monks, this is where our understanding of brain potential truly expands. Gamma waves oscillating at frequencies of 30 to 100 Hz or even higher are thought to be crucial for binding together information from different brain areas into a coherent whole, enabling complex cognitive functions, sharp focus, and those sudden flashes of insight. When these monks who have dedicated not just 10,000 hours, the oft-cited benchmark for mastery in a skill, but sometimes upwards of 50,000 hours to specific compassion-focused meditations, exhibit gamma wave activity 700 to 800 times higher than control groups, and these waves are sustained and remarkably well organized, it suggests their brains are processing reality in a profoundly different way. It's not just about being calm, it's about a heightened state of perceptual clarity and cognitive integration. Imagine what it's like to experience the world when your brain is operating at such an amplified frequency, with such coherence. It hints at cognitive capacities and states of awareness that most of us rarely, if ever, touch. This isn't just a different amount of brain activity, it's a different quality, a different mode of being, cultivated through dedicated mental discipline. Could it be that these ancient practices were, in essence, sophisticated forms of neuroengineering designed to unlock latent human potentials, and the enigma of near-death experiences, NDEs, only deepens the plot? That dramatic, organized spike in brain activity after the heart has stopped, when conventional wisdom dictates a rapid descent into neural silence, is a profound anomaly. Researchers like Dr. Sam Parnia, who directs critical care and resuscitation research, have meticulously documented these phenomena. The brain, deprived of oxygen and blood flow instead of flickering out, bursts into a highly coherent electrical state, sometimes even more synchronized than during normal waking consciousness. What could possibly account for this? Many NDEers report incredibly lucid and structured experiences. Out-of-body perceptions, life reviews, encounters with a brilliant light, or deceased relatives, all while their physical brain is ostensibly offline or shutting down. If consciousness is purely a byproduct of brain function, how can it become more intense and organized as the brain fails? This throws a serious wrench into purely materialistic explanations of consciousness, forcing us to consider that our current models are missing a rather large piece of the puzzle. It suggests that consciousness might have a degree of independence from the physical brain, or at least a relationship far more complex than simple production. This is where the speculative yet increasingly compelling ideas from quantum physics enter the conversation. The brain as a receiver model, while still theoretical, offers an elegant framework for these otherwise inexplicable phenomena. If consciousness isn't generated by the brain, but is rather received and processed through it, like a radio tunes into broadcast signals, then the brain's state would modulate the experience of consciousness, but not necessarily be its sole originator. Figures like Sir Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff have proposed quantum processes within microtubules in brain neurons, the OR theory, as a potential physical basis for consciousness, suggesting it might be tied to the fundamental fabric of the universe. This could explain the transpersonal nature of many spiritual experiences, the feeling of being connected to something vastly larger than oneself. Perhaps individuals are tuning into a universal field of consciousness. It could also shed light on phenomena like intuition, synchronicity, or even the subtle interconnectedness suggested by quantum entanglement, where particles remain connected regardless of distance. If our brains are receivers, then practices like meditation might be akin to fine-tuning the dial, allowing us to access clearer, broader, or deeper signals from this hypothesized conscious field. The placebo effect stands as a powerful, everyday demonstration of this mind-matter interface. It's not just about thinking yourself better in a trivial sense. It's about the profound biochemical and physiological cascade that belief can initiate. When people experience significant pain relief from a sugar pill they believe is a potent analgesic, or when patients in sham surgery groups, where they receive an incision but no actual corrective procedure, report improvements comparable to those who had the real surgery, it is a stark reminder of the body's innate healing intelligence and its responsiveness to our mental state. The expectation of healing becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, mediated by complex neurobiological pathways involving endorphins, dopamine, and other signaling molecules. Consider the nocebo effect, its sinister twin. When negative expectations lead to negative outcomes, even from an inert substance. Someone told a harmless pill has side effects might genuinely experience those side effects. This isn't imaginary. It's a real, measurable physiological response dictated by belief. This highlights an incredible, largely untapped therapeutic potential residing within our own minds. It suggests that our internal narratives, our convictions, and our focus can be potent tools for influencing our physical well-being, far beyond what conventional medicine typically acknowledges. This doesn't negate the need for medical interventions, but it dramatically expands the toolkit. Furthermore, the emerging science of epigenetics adds another layer to this intricate dance between mind and body. Epigenetics literally means above genetics. While we inherit our DNA sequence, epigenetic mechanisms can control which genes are turned on or off without changing the DNA sequence itself. Astonishingly, our thoughts, emotions, stress levels, diet, and experiences can influence these epigenetic markers. Chronic stress can trigger epigenetic changes that increase susceptibility to disease, while practices like meditation and positive emotional states can promote changes associated with health and longevity. This means we're not merely passive recipients of our genetic blueprint. We are active co-creators of our biological expression. Our consciousness, through our lifestyle and mental habits, is in constant dialogue with our genes. So, what we're witnessing is not a battle between science and spirituality, but an extraordinary convergence. The meticulous, evidence-based approach of science is beginning to validate and elucidate the profound wisdom embedded in ancient spiritual traditions. These practices, once dismissed as unscientific or mere folklore, are now being recognized for their potent effects on our neurobiology and overall well-being. The perceived chasm between the mind's subjective experience and the body's objective physicality is narrowing. It seems the lines we drew were perhaps more a reflection of our limited understanding than of any fundamental separation in reality. We are on the threshold of a new synthesis, one that embraces the intricate, undeniable connection between our inner world and our physical existence. This isn't just about understanding the brain better, it's about understanding ourselves and our place in the cosmos in a far more holistic and empowered way. The journey ahead is to explore this integrated reality with both the rigor of science and the wisdom of introspection, potentially unlocking capacities and a depth of human experience we're only just beginning to glimpse.